What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show. I'm Corey Insco, and one day, all three co-hosts will be on the podcast at the same time, and today is not that day. I'm here with just Matt Swift. Matt, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Yeah, it seems like we're all just kind of like rotating in and out. All right, it's your turn to be on the show. I can't make it this week, but no, it's good being here with you, Corey, and excellent to be celebrating a home playoff berth. It's great stuff.
Top four. We're going to hear talking about a top four team in the East. Mm-hmm. Which is, we can get into this a little more when we talk about the season as a whole, but is just wonderful to say out loud and know it's true. In this roller coaster of a season. But yeah, Charlotte is top four. They are hosting the first round of the playoffs, and could be a lot of fun here in the postseason. So yeah, I think we have a few things we kind of want to get to today. Obviously, talking a little bit about the last match. I think we'll get into that some. Then maybe spend some time kind of reflecting on the season as a whole. And then we can get into some listener questions and a couple of things that have popped up over the past week since we recorded. So we will dive into that now. I first, realistically, coming into this match, Charlotte played Philadelphia Union, who had locked up the Supporter Shield at this point, but still is the number one team. Obviously, Supporter Shield, they're the best team in the league.
Yep.
Charlotte can clinch that home field advantage with a win, and then if they don't win, a lot of other things have to come into play with Nashville and New York City FC and all that stuff. Did you think we would finish top four? What, in your heart of heart, not in your heart, in your head before the game, where you're like, yeah, we got this, or where was your head at?
I thought we were going to win, but there was a big part of me that thought I'd maybe had jinxed us talking about all those, or the draws that we didn't have all season long. So I was like, man, because we were talking about this on Soccer and Coffee. I'm like, man, we've only had 2 draws, and you've got to go all the way back to 2020 to find another team that only had 2 draws during the season. Mm-hmm. And after the episode, I was like, son of a bitch, we're going to draw, aren't we? Because I said that. And so I was trying to do some like scenarios in my head, but no, I felt good going into the game. I thought we had a lot of momentum, and, Philly didn't have necessarily a lot to play for. Right. I mean, they certainly will get into the game. They didn't really act like that. But Philly's a good side, no matter who they put out there, even if they put in even if they had some rotation. But I felt good, and got out of there with a win and top 4.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I was curious. I think the biggest thing leading up into the match, let's just go ahead and get into it, was I was really waiting to see what the starting lineup for Philadelphia would be. Because there's a lot of ways to think about it. I feel like we talked about this maybe in the last episode or at some point recently. There's a lot of ways to approach this, right? You can totally rest your team, give them more rest, head into the playoffs. There's also the argument that, like, because of international break and some other things, like, that's a lot of rest if you rest your best players in this match as well.
Right.
So it was like, kind of how would they approach that? Who would they play? Who would they sit? Who would kind of how would the subs happen? All those types of things. So when you saw the starting lineup, was there anything that jumped out to you when you saw who Philly put out there?
Not really. I think, kind of to your point, there is this kind of like thing where, like, oh, you can rest folks, but sometimes that's not a great thing when you're talking about momentum and disrupting that flow. So I wasn't shocked by what Philly put out. I did talk to some of their fans at the tailgate before the game, and was joking around that, like, hey, you guys can, start some of your young kids. And there was certainly a young kid out there that almost scored on us, but no, it was a pretty strong lineup, and I wasn't like shocked by anything. But we took care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on the Charlotte side, when we're looking at it, I think the only real positive surprise, I think, was getting Harry Toflo back in the starting lineup. It was really nice to see him start and make it through a full half and plus uninjured.
Yeah.
Just giving him a chance to get a run with the team before we get into the playoffs here. So was really excited to see him come out. What did you think about kind of seeing him and the way he played in this match?
Yeah, we were debating this on Soccer and Coffee Saturday morning. Would we see him? Would we see him start? And the debate kind of was like, hey, kind of what you just mentioned about like like rotating players and everything like that. But like, no, he needs to start. He needs to play as many minutes as possible. Does 10, 15 minutes really help him at all? And I was thinking, probably not. So it's good that he started. Made it, like you were saying, past the first half. And then, subbed him out because, again, you still want to ease him back in. But this is really great for us going into the playoffs to have two legitimate, awesome fullbacks. But seeing Harry play is great. I think he's going to be a huge asset for this squad.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's jump into kind of how the match played. We talked about the lineup a little bit, but it felt like to me, again, and it's well documented on the show, that I'm not the tactical genius of the group. That is my fellow co-host with us right now.
Do we have a tactical genius on this show?
Oh, if there is one, it's definitely not me, and I don't want to speak for David, but I think you'd say it's not him either. I think we're gonna have to rely on you for insights here. But how did you? I felt like Philadelphia seemed, at least from my perspective, to come out pretty aggressively. So not just with the lineup of who they played, but they were going for this even before they got down. Like, it makes sense they'd start chasing the game after they got down. But it felt like even before the first goal of the match, like Philly was going for this one, which I wasn't sure what to expect. Again, for the same reason as the lineup is like, how aggressive do you play in this? Do you kind of just sit back and see what happens? Because again, they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to play for. They've locked up everything they can possibly lock up. So were you surprised by the way they came out at all attacking the match?
Maybe not really. I think teams have kind of seen that pressing us can lead to some turnovers and quick counters on us. So it looks like they were pressing us pretty early in the game. I did notice that. And I guess maybe I was like, oh, they really are coming out strong. But I guess if you're on the road and you want to try to like get up early, because one of the things this Charlotte side does struggle with is once we give up a lead and the team can kind of like bunker back in, we do have a hard time breaking down teams at times. So maybe that was the thought, is like, hey, we're on the road. Let's get up early and then we'll kind of hunker back in, because defensively, Philadelphia is really, really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, let's get into some of the match. Anything? Obviously, we'll talk about the goals. Anything pre-goals, pre-24th minute that jumped out to you that you want to get into?
I don't really think. I mean, it was to me, it seemed very, very back and forth.
Yeah.
I do like how we were moving the ball. I think we have gotten a lot better with our midfielders moving into a position to receive the ball and kind of start getting forward. So I like how we started the game. We weren't like completely pinned back in. I think we were moving the ball well. And, pretty early we started scoring. So it was good. I liked the way we started the game. And that was a concern for me, is that I feel like sometimes when we can, quote unquote, wrap things up or take care of business, we tend to falter a little bit. Yeah. I can look back at a couple of these home games, very recently, the Montreal game. We could have wrapped some stuff up there and just didn't, and then really didn't. I think it was really bad.
Really didn't.
That was kind of in the back of my mind too. Is like, how are we going to start these games, and will we falter? But I got to say, the team really, I don't want to say surprised me, but really seemed composed and poised and was ready in that first half, which is always nice.
The only thing I'll say is I was convinced for a solid 20 seconds, I would say, that we'd gone down 1-0 in the first minute. When I guess it was like, I can't remember who crossed it. I think Bedoya was the one that actually ended up taking the shot from inside. I mean, just a clear, beautiful opportunity.
Yeah.
And usually I'm pretty good at telling when it's like side netting or back, whatever. But the way that ball landed from my angle, it like went into the back of the net, but like inside of the like bar on the bottom.
Yeah.
I was convinced like that was the goal. I was like, we just went down 1-0 so quickly. This is going to be a brutal match. And it took a long time for me to recognize that the ref was calling for a goal kick. So after that moment, I felt much better. And we also had a similar situation like a minute later where I think it was Bronico, and like about half of like my side of the stadium was convinced we'd gone up 1-0 and were just distressed when a goal kick happened. So there's a couple of very early side and back netting chances that tricked the crowd a little bit. But outside of that, again, very clear opportunity that Philadelphia had very early on. I felt pretty good about how we were playing early on.
I'm kind of glad that Brandt didn't score that goal, because I was already out of my seat and kind of launching forward. If he would have scored, I probably would have jumped 3 rows ahead. Because I see him about to take the shot, and so I get up, and I'm sitting with my friends Seth and Kelsey. And if you know Kelsey at all, she is a massive Bronico fan. So one of us probably would have hit each other, or like launched over. But that was exciting. And yeah, like you were saying, Philly had a chance very early on, and then we come back, and that game could have got wild.
It could have gotten very wild very early.
Yeah.
And then so let's go ahead and just get to the first goal, which was just wild again from my specific angle. So this one starts with Malanda gets like a back pass, I believe, from Byrne, and just rips a long ball down the right side of the field. And we're all watching it, be like, is that going to go out? Like it was right on the edge. But we were watching too, like the assistant referee on that side had it tracked. Like she was staring at it and didn't make a call. And I was like, and I looked over at Nate, and we were like, is that reviewable? And he goes, no. And I was like, awesome. Because it was close. I mean, I do think it stayed in, but like, I don't know how you tell when a ball flies that far up in the air over the out of bounds line right there. That's a tough call, but I do think it stays in. Yeah. But then Vargas is running under it all by himself, which was nice. Puts a nice little cross in. Tokomati gives a little fake, which I think was a legit fake. I know we've had situations where we've wondered if it's a real fake or not. I think that was a legit fake. And Zaha comes streaming in behind and flicks it with the outside of his foot into the goal. I mean, go ahead. Yeah.
No, it looked easier than what it was.
Oh yeah.
If you go back and look at the replay, it's a very, very quality finish right there.
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolutely beautiful finish. Tough angle, angle. He had a guy bearing down on him, keeper right there. I mean, it was not an easy finish, but I feel like it kind of a goal. I mean, I know the team was playing well, but that goal felt like it came a little bit out of nowhere. Just this long ball that found the right opportunity, and Vargas makes the right play, and Zaha's there to finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, we have the 3 folks up front that can make stuff like that happen. We have some dynamic players up top. We'll maybe talk about like who's our favorite player of the season and all that stuff later, but somebody that, we've mentioned a couple of times on this show, the beginning of the year and, kind of recently, Kerwin Vargas has absolutely done like a 180 and has absolutely changed everything.
He has.
Like he can shoot now. Like it is insane. Like I'm trying to figure out like what happened, what changed, because like, I mean, I hate to kind of bag on him, but like it was kind of like an ongoing joke that, oh boy, here he's going to shoot, and it's nowhere on frame. But here lately, he is absolutely on fire. I don't know if, when they brought Abada in, that kind of rubbed him the wrong way and he wanted that starting spot. I don't know if Zaha is like, kind of like, hey, you could do more. I don't know what the difference is. Whatever it is has made a huge difference. and you could see the swagger and the confidence that Vargas has. But
Yes.
now it's not always on Zaha. Vargas is starting to make plays like that too, and I still love how Vargas plays defense to be a winger.
Yeah,
still not the best. Wingers are not the best defenders, but still,
but
I appreciate Vargas's defensive effort too.
100%. It looks like I think that was his 6th goal in the season. And yeah, like that's the danger. It was always like people are going to load up on defending Zaha because he's Zaha, right? And so when you're one of the other guys in that top 3 or attacking midfield role, like you got to be the one. You got to be ready to step up into the opportunities that are going to open up because they're trying to overload on Zaha. And Tokomati has done that. Vargas has done that very well. BL did that when he was playing. I mean, you just saw some of these people step up and be able to be in those positions and make those plays. And yeah, I'm happy to see Vargas playing this well. Yeah, we can get more into it when we talk about kind of some of our favorite players from the season. But very, very excited for him to do that and make that pass. And then Zaha to finish it off. Again, that's the kind of finish that we got for people listening. We got Matt flipping Vargas on his bobblehead, which I think I talked about this in the last episode, but I finally got mine too. So he's back here.
Oh, nice. I wonder if this is the actual key.
It might have been.
We need to do some. This is usually stuff that I look up. I usually look up did the bobblehead change Vargas's, because he played well this game. I do know that for a fact, but I wonder if that was the catalyst.
I remember discussing, so this would put something into perspective. I remember us discussing like, will he start on his bobblehead night or something like that, or being like, yeah, it made sense they start. So like, I think if we were on the fence about him starting, I think there was still the period where he was like, it was kind of working, but we were having some issues. But then like he did have a good match, and I think that's when he kind of solidified his starting spot. Like happy for him and how things are going. And yeah, we'll get to it, but like he also got himself in the score sheet in this one. But before that, kind of looking back through how things happened, Philadelphia had another ridiculous chance in the, what was it, like 20, I'm looking at the times now, 27th minute. Again, one of those that until I went back and watched the highlights, I have no idea how they didn't score. It's just like ball bouncing around the box, defenders just flailing their bodies around, 2 people end up in the back of the net. I mean, it was just a messy goal. Bedoya again getting in there and having a real big chance. Malanda making the big play at the end to get the ball cleared out of there to again, a real game-changing moment, which, this goes to 1-1. We're looking at a very different situation heading into the rest of the match.
Yeah. It's, Ben don't break. It's very reminiscent of last season. And it takes everybody all hands on deck, right? When plays are busted or somebody loses a man, there's a loose ball in the box. I mean, everybody has to do their job. And I thought Malanda played a really, really good game. And the defense has really, really stepped out. And then Kalina had a fantastic match. And if it weren't for him, we probably wouldn't have won this game. But because he definitely saved.
Yes.
A couple of shots. There was one in particular that I was like, that's a goal. And then I was like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So
there were several of them. I mean, this is very much a well-deserved man of the match for Kalina at the end of this one. I mean, a lot of other players stood out and had some nice matches, but very much deserved. And then just a couple minutes later, we get the second goal. I was going back and looking at this one. Some real beautiful stuff, I think, in the build up to this one. I'm looking at. Hold on, let me pull it up here.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it was a little give and go with Toflo and Zaha, right? So Toflo has it, gives it to Zaha, and Toflo puts a nice cross into, again, Vargas standing all by his lonesome. for the second time in 5 minutes. Vargas is just left
and
all alone.
and why is that? Why is he all by himself? Because everybody's
right.
focusing on the other side, right? So
yeah. But we see the influence or the impact of having Harry back in the lineup pretty quickly here with that cross. And again, like Vargas has time like to settle the ball off his chest, think about it a minute, and then hit it off the volley to score that second goal.
Yeah, and again, this is the perfect example of usually when Vargas gets this ball and he rears back, I'm like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
But now he has that confidence to hit something like that and get it on frame. And that's the key, is just, that was always the thing, like at least get the shot on frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so tickled for him. Awesome second goal, and to get it so quickly, because that's the thing. Like, you score one, Philadelphia definitely has the horses to get back into the game.
Yes,
like you were saying, they almost do anyway. So to get that second goal, that's kind of like the dagger a little bit. Like, I know it's still kind of early, and it's in the first half, but that's like Philly's not really playing for anything. They could really give it a go.
Yeah,
they go down a goal, but they got their chances. That second goal, they're like, oh, that's that could break your will right there.
And it felt like it. I mean, Philadelphia, it's not like they didn't have chances after this, but this was one of those that, just from a vibe standpoint, once we got that second goal, I felt like I just kind of relaxed, and just until a situation in the second half that we'll talk about, just got to enjoy the rest of this one, because it did feel like they were playing with confidence. They were under control. They were being smart and just kind of had this game in hand, and we were in good play. I mean, we even almost scored a third goal late in the second half when Tokomati has just a great opportunity from the top of the box, and Blake makes a ridiculous save to keep that one out. Yeah. So we almost went 3-0 before the half. So again, the way the team was playing, the confidence in the attack, I mean, everything, and Kleina and the defense making some miraculous saves when they were called upon to do it. It was just a really, really solid performance, I thought. I do have a question for you, because I was probably getting a drink. This is legitimate. This is not like me setting up Matt for something. How did Zaha get his first yellow? What happened on the first yellow?
I'm trying. Was it? I think I'm trying to think back myself. I want to say, was he not like mouthing off?
I mean, it's a fair guess.
Yeah, I have some.
We'll talk more about Zaha in a minute. I'm not trying to set you up on we'll talk about that in a minute. I just was curious, because it was like, I think it was on the other side of the stadium. I think I was coming back from getting a beverage.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened that led to the first yellow. So I was just curious if you remember that. We'll have to look it up and maybe stall in a little bit here and get the details on that. But I just didn't have any context for where the first one came from.
And I want to say, like, didn't it come? It was in the first half.
I think it was late in the first half. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I think it was still first half.
Yeah, I think it was like getting close to halftime. I remember that, but I can't remember if it was. I will say there were a couple of fouls. There was one, Zaha is literally fouled from behind and they don't call it.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of set him off.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, and I'm sure we'll get some comments and everything. But I want to say maybe just kind of dissent, maybe.
That makes sense. I mean, but I totally agree with you. The frustration is clearly there, because I mean, we've gotten to the point now where the group I sit with, we like to count the Zaha fouls, so we know when they're going to give him the no more signal of like, he's our special boy, you can't touch him anymore.
Yeah,
I love. That's a thing we do now. And so we were counting, and so we also started counting the ones that weren't called. So by the time he got his second foul, we were at 5 already. So there was some pretty, and I think especially with certain referees, he does not get the benefit of the doubt, which is, it is what it is, fine. Mm-hmm. But I can see how that leads to frustration and those kind of like dissent, frustration, yellow cards, because they know that they can pick on him a little bit, the opposing team, and get away with it to a certain degree, and get in his head that way. I mean, obviously, he still had a huge impact on the match because he was a part of both goals, obviously scoring one and kind of the hockey assist for the other one.
Yep.
But you can still get in his head. And obviously, like we saw later in the game, you can affect the game by doing that with him. And he was clearly frustrated by some of the things that were not being whistled out there.
The crazy thing is he leads the league in fouls against, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been fouled 125 times. That's been called. I don't know how many times he's been fouled and it hasn't been called. Yeah. So, and just some perspective here, Carlos Hill is second, and he's been fouled 102 times.
Yeah.
So 125. The next one is 102.
Yeah. So. I mean, and that's what Dean pointed out in his press conference right after the match. I mean, he's like, without even having seen what led to the red card later, he's like, there's a reason this guy, I mean, he gets fouled more than anybody else. And like, that's going to lead to frustrations. So,
yeah. Do you want to know who the second most fouled person on this team is?
I was going to try to guess, and I don't know if I have a good guess.
We've talked about him. We've talked about him already
tonight. Vargas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vargas is the second most fouled player on this team. Brant Bronico leads this team in fouls.
See, I almost said Bronico that I was like, wait, I think that's the opposite. I think he's the one always fouling people.
and I want to double check this, but this is hilarious. Are you ready for this? You want to know who's second in fouls against?
Ooh.
We've just talked about it.
Vargas or Zaha?
Zaha is second in fouls. Not fouls, like he's actually fouled people.
Well, but I can see that because a lot of them, like you see or I won't say all, most of Zaha's fouls are stupid fouls in that they are like reaction fouls. They're not like, I'm trying to take a guy down and I came in a little late and oops, that was a bad foul kind of deal. It's like he's frustrated. And so like he just clearly goes to clear a guy out or hang on a guy's back just to make him mad. Like, so that doesn't surprise me at all. That it kind of goes both ways of being that high on the most fouls and the most fouled list.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Do we want, was there anything, I mean, because like those were the goals. I was kind of looking through it. I mean, Westwood had a really nice chance early in the second half. They just barely missed. Would have been his second goal of the season. I'm always rooting for Westwood goals. They don't happen often enough. Anything else pre-red card that we need to get into from the actual match?
I don't think so. I think it was, I think we kind of covered all the highlights.
Yeah. Again, it was kind of one of those, and I wasn't mad about it feeling a little boring, but like it at a certain point, it felt a little boring in the second half there. Tokomati had a nice chance. I'm just looking again back through how things happen. I mean, there were definitely chances for both teams. Clean, like we said, made some big saves. So there was stuff happening, but I wasn't mad about the fact that we didn't have much more excitement from a gameplay standpoint until what was it? Literally the 90th minute is when we have the infamous second yellow. Literally as Zaha's substitute is standing on the sideline ready to come in. Have you gone back to watch what happened? Let's just ask this first.
Not the lead up to it.
Okay. What was your in the moment reaction to what you saw in the field?
I think what most people thought, like, oh, that's really stupid and silly. Why didn't you walk away? Why, why there? I know why he did it, but I have some other thoughts. So, what did you say? We'll start with what you thought.
So, from my angle, he just whatever you want to call it, punch slap. He just clearly threw a hand, I'll say, at the player. I mean, it was so, there's no other way to excuse that he was trying to do something else, right?
Oh,
From the moment I saw it, I was like, he just threw a punch. Like, he deserves a red card. Like, get him out of here. Like that. It wasn't like sometimes you see situations, and I think it's even how they, like Dean even said in the press conference, but he hadn't watched it yet. Like a situation where like a player's like slapping away at someone's arm, and then in the process of trying to do that comes close to the guy's face or hits somebody accidentally. That wasn't this. No.
Yeah.
He knocked the hand away and then came with the other hand to throw some kind of punch or slap at the guy. And I'm like, that's a red card. Like, you're out.
Yeah.
Like, there's no arguing this. And I know you have opinions. Do you want me to start with my opinion, or do you want me to set you up to your feelings? My opinion, like that is inexcusable. I know Zaha is who he is. We knew what we were getting with him. We were getting a fiery player who's going to have these moments and is going to get into it with opposing players and coaches. And most of the time when this has happened in the season, I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, that's who he is. Like, that's what you're going to get. And like, that's kind of part of the deal. But this situation he's got to have some self-control here. Like, this is, to me, inexcusable. Like, you are up 2-0 in the 90th. This game is over. You're about to get subbed out. Like, if you're at all looking at the sideline, you can see who's coming in. You probably know you're about to come out. We're heading into the playoffs. Like, he knows the situation. He knows he's on a yellow card. Like, even if you're getting chippy with a player, you've got to keep your cool enough not to throw a punch or whatever it was, to fling your arm at the guy's head. That, like, I can't make any excuses for that. And I've been okay with some of the things we've seen on him that other people have gotten mad about. Like, they don't like the way he plays. Like, I'm not one of those. Like, I really like Zaha. I like the energy he brings. The collateral damage of that is you get the yellows and the reds occasionally when things happen. But this to me was like, no, that's awful. And I mean, to me, what we kept saying, and the people around me, is like, that ruined the vibe of the entire night for me. Because up till that point, like, we're up 2-0. We are going to be top 4. We are hosting, the best season in team history. We're hosting the playoff series. Like, this is going to be awesome. The only annoying thing was that it's New York City we're playing, but whatever. Like, it's fine. We got the 4th seed. This is huge. 2 months ago, I didn't think this was going to happen. So the fact that we're here is awesome. And it just, like, that high feeling I had just, like, immediately got brought down when it's like, well, we lost Zaha for the first match of it. And that sucks because of the importance of him on the field. I mean, I'd even texted the group chat earlier because I think when Zaha got his yellow, it would have meant like yellow card accumulation if it was a regular season. So I was like, hey, of course, I was asking Vaughn because Vaughn knows all the rules. I was like, does that mean he's out for the playoffs or does it reset? And before Vaughn even had a chance to answer, it didn't matter because, because he already had a red. So that was my feeling. I think it marred an otherwise awesome fan appreciation night. With a great crowd, huge win, all those things. I think it was just really frustrating to have him lose his cool in that situation. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, because I'm going to defend Zaha quite a bit here, but I will start with this, that yes, it was very dumb what he did, right? Like, you cannot excuse it, really. I'm shocked that it hasn't happened already this season. That's my thing. I'm shocked by it. And like, I was texting with you guys. I'm like, this is who he is. And I understand that people don't like that, and understand that maybe people haven't seen him play. He is the guy that is going to do something silly like this. He's also the guy that's going to get headbutted by another player. So it's, the timing of it's horrible, right? And you do have to have some self-awareness.
Right.
My other issue is Dean Smith. You should have subbed him out before that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a whole argument to be made there, sure.
And we keep saying that his subs come way too late. He says in his press conference that he's got somebody ready to go. Dude, the game's locked up. You're at the end of the game. You're about to go into the playoffs. You have your best player on a yellow card. You have to manage the game.
Yeah.
And the one critical thing about Dean is his subs are just wonky sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
And I'm saying this, it's ultimately Zaha's fault. The coach should not have to save you all the time, right? But it's Zaha, and I've seen him do this numerous times in his career. This is not a new thing, and buckle up, everybody, because it's gonna happen again. I'm just letting you know. He's also going to score a goal in a game and win us a game. He's going to get another assist. He's going to be amazing. He's going to score 10 goals, get 10 assists. He's going to draw all of this attention. He's going to lead the league in fouls. And then he's going to do something very silly.
Right. But I guess my problem is that silly thing keeps this player who's had such a big impact on the field out of the first of a 3-game series. That's huge.
Pep got a red card last year going into the playoffs.
Okay, I don't remember what the red card was for, though. Honestly,
I'm just saying. My whole beef was, I think it all just has caught me the wrong way, because most of what I see is people trashing Zaha the whole year.
Yeah.
And this was like the perfect example to be like, oh, see, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, see what? Like, have you ever watched him play? This is exactly what he does. He's hot tempered, and get mad. But do you enjoy the other guy? Like, you have to, this is going to be the good or bad. And I know that sounds ridiculous. But I am telling you, this will happen again. Mark this date and timestamp. This will happen again. And he's going to be absolutely brilliant, though. And he's going to win us games that we should not win. So while it is very unfortunate that he is going to be out that first game, he is a main reason why we are in fourth place. So I give him a little bit of a break. And also, too, I'm just so sick of people bagging on him, I guess, is the other thing. But to your point, I get what you're saying, Corey. Like, there's really no excuse for it. But I guess I am kind of making some. But I wish he would have done that like 2 games ago. But I will say,
throw the punch,
because I saw some other comments and stuff like that. You know, like, oh, he needs to be a professional. He needs to be a leader. One, again, have you ever watched Zaha play? This is not a shocker. And also, too, Ashley Westwood, our captain, missed a game for running his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's the timing is the timing is what is the big killer. The big killer here.
I do think we're mostly agreeing, and it's just like that last little part of where I think we are differing on the opinion, because I agree. I've been very frustrated by the people who have bagged on Zaha. I hear him in the stands. I try not to look at social media too much, so I don't see it too much there. But like I've seen it, I've heard it, and that's frustrated me, because he has absolutely been a huge part of this team's success this season in a variety of ways. And you get the good and the bad. And I think I even think, had it been a red card for something else, like. If it had been like 2 hard fouls, or like,
I see what you're saying.
I don't know. It was just something about the fact that he literally, I mean, it was a reaction. I know it was like, not like he thought hard about it, but like, he's running down the field with the guy. They're kind of pointing at each other, and there's not like, it's not like they were face to face headbutting each other and then one of them finally swings. It was like he literally, like, as they were running, pointing at each other, he made the choice to be like, I'm going to take a swing at the guy. Like that, just the way, the timing and the way it happened was like, oh my, really?
Yeah,
really?
No.
This is what we're going to do right now. And also in the moment of the game, if it happened, you know, in the first half somehow where they got a red, when the game hasn't been decided, it also feels a little bit different. Again, this game was over.
Sure. Yeah.
The game's over. Just who cares what that guy is saying to you? Like, you know, I know you've had a frustrating match, but you've gotten it back by getting, you know, your goal and your hockey assist. Like you've made your impact on the game. Just like move on or talk to him after or something. I don't know. Like it was the way, it was the timing and the way it happened. And again, I'm so glad he is part of this team because I think he's a big part of the reason they are where they are, like you said. But it was the timing and the way it happened that I'm like, I don't know if I can make any defense for him doing that.
Yeah, it's that one little thing, right? If he would just be a little more mindful, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he's going to lash out. Because again, like, you know, the referee's not always going to protect him.
Yeah.
He's going to get kicked literally every time he gets the ball. He gets fouled. I don't know. Did you see Philly's bench at all? Anytime Zaha was fouled or any of that, the whole entire bench was off their seats, pointing, and like that's how much.
Yeah,
I said this. That's how much they hate Zaha, man.
Yeah,
and so you don't know what's being said on the field, right?
You're right.
And there is a certain point, there is a boiling point. But so if we have learned that Zaha cannot 100% control himself, it has to be a coach saying, okay, I have to manage this thing, or a captain or a player like, dude, you've got to grab him and wave at Dean like he got to go. He's got to go. Like we're at that point. It is. I know it sounds silly me saying this, that a grown man has to be restrained and managed, but again, it's not new. Like people should know this. Like I don't know.
I do agree with that. I mean, we have seen that he can get headbutted and not lash out. Like I was really proud of it. Not to go back too far, but the DC game, I was actually really proud of him the way he handled himself after all that. He because he easily could have been something where he also got into trouble too. But he took the headbutt and was like, "Whoop, I'm gonna just kind of walk away and let this guy get a red card."
I will say this, and I love our pal from Philly, who covers the games for us. Yeah, Jose. He did tweet something that I took offense to, and it was about Zaha. And he was talking about how, he's a great player, but then he called him the dumbest player. And that is where that kind of set me off. Yeah. And I'm like, you could say, because he's like, he's the most hot-headed and dumbest player. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, the dumbest thing, I'm not going to let you slide with that. The other stuff, totally get. Zaha is not dumb. Zaha is very smart. And I say that because what reminded me is that headbutt. Zaha also knows what he's doing. He also knows that he gets fouled a lot. He also knows that he riles people up. So he is actually very smart. But if you're kicked constantly and you're fouled every time you get the ball and half the time it's not called, you will boil over. Again, you would think you would have some type of self-control, which I think he does sometimes, but at other times it's the roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And the wise words of Hunter S. Thompson: "Buy the ticket, take the ride." It's a doozy, man. But yeah.
All right. So let's get to. I'm gonna flip the order real quick. Let's talk a little bit about the first round playoff.
God almighty.
Schedule. Not to get you right into another hot button topic, but so we're playing again. New York City FC is the first round opponent. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get in front of me. The schedule of matches is we play at home next Tuesday night, so a week from when we're recording, the 28th, 6:45, which is a very random time. Play at home, play away November 1st at a baseball stadium, which is awesome. And then home, if necessary, the following Friday, I believe, in Charlotte. People had some feelings
I swear to God.
Apparently, again, not on social media, so I only heard it through the group chat.
Oh no, it was
someone on Discord. It was on Discord too. People had some feelings about the Tuesday match.
I have some feelings about those feelings too.
Let's hear your feelings.
I'm going to try to stay as calm as possible. But the whining and complaining has got to go, guys. Like, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, man. Like, the schedule comes out and immediately, like, I never have a problem with people like, oh, why are we playing Tuesday? I wonder what's going on. You know, like, what's the reasoning? That is perfectly reasonable to be like, oh, Tuesday, interesting. But what always happens is that people will just jump to conclusions and just say all these crazy outlandish things and like getting angry at things that like you don't even know what you're talking about. As soon as the schedule comes up, oh, David Tepper doesn't care about this team. Oh, this is a slap in the face. Oh, this is because the Panthers and yada, yada, yada. It's the same tired bullshit that, and then it makes me want to snap. I'm like, can you wait 5 seconds and maybe do 30 seconds of research to see maybe why we're playing this game when we're playing it? First and foremost, for people that are catching up, it has nothing to do with the Panthers. Most of what we're doing will not have to do with the Panthers. I know that people love to say that.
Yeah.
And my head is going to explode. I'm so sick of people saying stuff like this. It's not the Panthers. There are 0 games on Saturday. 0 on that first game. There's not any.
That's my more confusion, and you might know the reason to this is like why. Yes. More of an overall scheduling MLS. Like, what are we doing? Less so like that was my reaction. Less so when we were playing with the fact that like, why is it Friday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? What is happening?
I want to go back. I want to go back because I want to complain about people complaining.
Okay.
Tuesday, and then everybody's like, oh, well, there goes our home field advantage, man. There was somebody on Twitter that literally said, oh, it would have been much better to be the lower seed and have a game on Saturday. I'm like, you mean to tell me it's better to not have home field advantage and to have possibly 2 games at home? It's better to have the Saturday game. And people are acting like we're going to have 3,000 people at the damn game Tuesday. What the hell is wrong with everybody? How about we get excited that we have a home playoff game? It's Tuesday. So freaking what? There are no games. And if people would have just waited a little bit, they would have seen there's no games on Saturday. Also, if you work the schedule backwards, everybody, you'll see like, oh, they're playing the games at the beginning of the week because they want to get the second game during that weekend. And if you look at the schedule, again, if people would have just waited, you'll see like there's this weird week gap that everybody, of course, is complaining about. Like, well, how come they can't play this game? Blah, 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 blah. There's international break. That's why there's a week there. That's why we have to get these games in. And I guarantee you, if MLS tried to play during the international break, you guys would complain about that. So just wait 5 minutes and you'll find out why the schedule is the way it is. They have to get these games in to line it up with the MLS Cup. Because after the international break, then they have to hurry up and get the semifinals and all that stuff in. That is why. But no, we've got to flip out. We got to go on shows and talk about how the team doesn't care. And it's a slap. It's the slap in the face comments. Like, yes, it's a slap in the face to you. Sorry. I'm done. I can't. The complaining, I just can't do anymore.
Yeah, I think at some point, I think they're always out to get us mentality needs to go away. You know, it's ridiculous. There could be, but I don't think there's a conspiracy here. Like it. I mean, again, if I'd feel differently if like every other team was playing on the weekend, they threw us on a Tuesday for no apparent reason. Like
Exactly.
what the hell is
Right.
that? But no, it's like
Right.
it's a weird spread out thing. Again, Friday, Sunday, Monday has 2 matches, then we play Tuesday, then LA and Austin play Wednesday. Like
Yeah.
it
So
is there's no one playing Saturday. It's a weird schedule.
another thing is if you want to get mad, here's something that you can get mad about, everybody. They want Miami to play by themselves on Friday. So get mad about that.
Yeah.
That Miami gets special treatment. Then they want to also make sure the first seeds get their games in.
Yeah.
More of like a quote unquote better prime time. So they prioritize those games. Yep. But again, they have to start the game during the beginning of the week so they can get that second game in more on the weekend. And that's what this is really all about.
Yeah.
This is not about sticking it to you or slapping you in the face or the Panthers or
right.
I don't know. It is what it is. And I would just, for once, can we just get excited?
Yeah.
There's going to be more than 3,000 people there on Tuesday. This is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, I had no strong reaction to it other than just the wondering about the Saturday thing. So the fact that there were strong reactions, I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. I mean, like, yeah, scheduling is kind of weird sometimes, but I think it'll be a good crowd. I mean, I know like, yeah, Saturday, of course that'd be more ideal, but I think people are going to show up. It's going to be a good crowd.
Yeah.
It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. We're going to have a good time. And hopefully we won't have to come back on that Friday and play. But I also think if we had to play that third game on Friday, you'll have a great crowd on a Friday night. Yeah. It'll be a good time. So I'm not worried about it.
And the team wanted to initially play on Friday because I think maybe that's where the confusion was too, when people saw like there was an option to play Tuesday and Friday that came out. Mm-hmm. The team wanted, of course, to play on Friday, but the league was like, no, our darlings, Miami's going to play on Friday. So,
God, I love
sorry to get all riled up and heated. I know everybody's probably mad at me. There's just this, everything's just in a constant state of outrage and complaining. I'm just kind of tired of it. I just want to, let's just have some fun. Enjoy what we got.
This is why I don't do social media anymore.
Yeah.
For that exact reason. All right. So that's the schedule. I guess we might, I don't know if we'll do anything, so let's just do it now. How do you feel playing New York City FC? Like, how do you feel about that matchup? What'd you say?
I said I really didn't want to play them.
No,
that's I want to play somebody else.
All of us were staring at our phones, because like obviously our position was locked in at this point. We were looking at our phones, watching the other results, really hoping that Nashville found a way.
Exactly. That's everybody around me. I was already making my plan because I love traveling to Nashville for the games. Yeah. Right? I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna go to this place and we're gonna do this and like. We could make a road trip, and then it all fell apart. I'm like, I'm not going to New York and watching that. So,
no, I mean, I really don't want to play them either. Are you like what? I guess what concerns you about playing them?
Just how we play them, the way they play. There's a reason why we're 4-5, right? Yeah. It just seems like these New York teams, we don't tend to do all that well against them. I don't know. It just, and again, it was like one of those things like, oh, of all the teams, where would I like to travel? And this was like the least one I wanted to do. Yeah. So it's just kind of like, yeah. But
I think it's a little bit that to me, but it's also, and this is why I thought home field advantage, knowing that this was a possibility, I thought home field advantage was massive, is playing in that stadium. Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe it's just the bad vibes from the last time we were there, but this team playing in that stadium just doesn't feel good to me. So I thought home field advantage was very important to make sure that if we went to 3 games, 2 of those were going to be in Charlotte. And so that was massive. So, I mean, obviously they're a competitive team. It'll be a good match, but I feel much better knowing that we get them at home first. And then we only have that one game in New York to worry about. Hopefully we close it out in 2, but I feel much better knowing that we'd come back home for a game 3 there if needed.
For sure.
But I mean, at a certain point too, with the way the East is, like once you get to this point, like all the teams scare you a little bit. Like there's,
I
it
mean,
wasn't like there was a
freaking
matchup that was like, oh man, I'd love to play them. I feel like we got their number. It's like I look at I look at the top 9. I'm like, hey,
well,
I
I
don't
mean,
want to play any of them.
Orlando's in the play-in game.
Yeah,
I don't want to play Orlando.
yeah,
Um, there were a couple teams I actually wouldn't mind. Like honestly, Cincinnati, Miami, Nashville, Columbus right now. Chicago would be okay. But like a team like Orlando, New York, I don't want to play Philly again right now. I'd rather meet them later.
yeah. That's
um,
fair.
yeah. But you got to play who's in front of you, and
Yep.
it'd be nice to get that first win because, yeah, to your point, when we go up and play in Yankee Stadium, there was a big part of me. I was like, I guess the Yankees are not playing, so they will play it there, but sometimes they'll move it to Red Bull.
Yeah.
And I was a little surprised that they haven't done that, but
Honestly, I don't know if I'd want that anymore. Like, I don't want to play in that stadium either. We don't have.
well, yeah, that's yeah. Both are bad options.
Bad memories. I just one quick question. Obviously, Biel. We know we've known this for a little bit. He's out for the rest of the season. And there, I feel like I saw something today though that like unless we made a deep playoff run, there's a chance he could pop back in later. But for all intents and purposes, we lose him. I don't think we've talked about this, or at least recently. Does that worry you as much as I don't know how to frame this question? I guess what I'll say is I really wish we had him, but honestly, that doesn't concern me as much because of the way this team plays with the midfield we currently have. Does that make sense? Because you were probably the one that talked about this the most of like the trade-off you make when you bring in someone like Pep who can create goals is you lose some of that defensive strength in the midfield. Mm-hmm. And this run we've gone on has been without him in the lineup. And so like, not that I want Pep back and the news that came out recently that it looks like he will be coming back for future seasons. So I'm happy about that, but I'm also for the contribution he made this season, I'm honestly not that concerned with him not being available in these early matches. How do you feel? Yeah,
I mean, again, it kind of just goes back to last season how we played. It was more defensively. We didn't give up hardly any goals last season. And there was a trade-off. There was, we were more creative. We were scoring more goals, but we were defensively a little more not as sharp, right? And it just depends on who's behind him, really. But I'm really glad that he, even though he was injured, he's able to sign on for, I don't know what the deal structure is,
right,
or what his designation is going to be, which will be interesting.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's probably going to be some departures that could free up a DP spot and stuff like that. But I'm glad he's going to be a part of the plans going forward. I think he likes it here. He's really good with the fans. I just like him in general. So dynamic, and it's definitely somebody that we can use when teams hunker down or they get up early on us. So it's definitely an asset, and it sucks that we're not going to have him in the playoffs, but it is nice to know that he will be back healthy. Yeah. And it's kind of nice, like, the finals, is like, December. At least he's going to be healthy, I guess, in Dean's eyes, that is a possibility. Right. So this is not like a huge long-term injury.
Yes.
I think it's great that he's going to be here next year.
Yeah. All right. I think we typically do like a real like end of season kind of breakdown once the season's really over, which it is not for Charlotte. But we did want to talk a little bit about like kind of a looking back on the regular season. So I guess we'll just start like Matt, overall thoughts on how this season played out, where we finished, kind of, just as we're looking back heading into the playoffs, your takeaways on the regular season.
I thought started strong. We were like 5-1-2. 5 wins, I think 1 draw and 2 losses before Nathan Byrne goes down. And then we have these runs of injuries all of a sudden with anybody who played left back, they were just getting hurt for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Do you remember Doumbia?
Yeah, right.
So there was a real concern, right, when we hit that losing streak, and we had 2 fullbacks that were inexperienced and playing out of position and playing on the opposite side. It was a mess, and we were just leaking goals, and it looked kind of dire.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like it was looking pretty bad. I think at one point we were like in 10th or something. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to.
We dipped way down in there. Yeah.
So it looked bad, and we were able to. I think we moved Bill out wide for a game or two to shore up our fullbacks. And I will still die on this hill that our fullbacks are the reason why we went through that losing streak.
I will concede that I'm pretty sure you were right.
And then we got into Leagues Cup, and a lot of people tried to tell us that that was going to be a detriment to our season, and it's a stupid tournament, and it will ruin our season. Even though now for 2 years in a row, it has done the exact opposite. We won a couple of games right before, but then after Leagues Cup, Nathan Byrne comes back, and we go on a winning run. And that, after that streak ended, we kind of faltered a little bit with Montreal, but we bounced back. So just, I would say resilient is a word that comes to mind for this season. And, I hate to say mission accomplished because we're about to go into the playoffs, but if we're talking about regular season,
yes,
mission accomplished. We did, and we are exactly where I think all three of us kind of said fourth. It needs to be fourth. We need to see a progression. And the thing is, this team, Charlotte FC, the team that we all love, has gotten better every single season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pretty much every metric. This year, yes, we've given up more goals than we did last year, but last year was like some magical, crazy season where we only gave up like 37 goals.
Yeah.
But every other stat we've improved on, which means goals for. Our squad has gotten better. We've just had a lot of great things happen and dealt with some adversity and kind of weathered the storm and righted the ship. And we are a team, it seems like, that comes on in the second half of the season. So you kind of just have to kind of like buckle up and get ready. But I'm so impressed with this team.
Yeah.
And some of the individual players that, we weren't too big on at the beginning of the season. Gianni is another player who I still have my concerns about. He's another player that has really turned things around.
Absolutely.
We talked about Vargas, who's night and day. Look who our striker is.
Have been my biggest pleasant surprise, because I know at some point on this show, and I didn't do it in a way to doubt Toklamati, but I was like, we need to get someone else to start so that Toklamati isn't forced into that starting role too quickly. Like, I was always impressed by him, but I was like, I like him as a 60-minute, like, bring him in to try to get behind a slow defense and we'll go from there. Man, has he been incredible. I mean, his since he's taken over the starting job, just absolutely incredible season. Just blown away by what he's done.
This seems like a long season, right? We used to have Patrick Aubameyang up top, right? I mean, like, it seems like that was
he's
so
doing his
long
thing
ago.
in the championship right now. He's playing well over there.
Exactly. And like, you feel like, okay, if you lose a piece like that and you don't go out and get like a top name striker, like, oh man, Zoran's an idiot, blah blah blah. You get the normal stuff again. I really do love all you fans out there. I do, even though you drive me nuts sometimes. But just saying, like, I saw the chatter, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this front office doesn't know what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. When we first signed Adon, he was on Crown Legacy. And everybody's like, man, that's a lot of money for a dude on Crown Legacy. And people question that. I don't know, man. Seems like I'm going to say it now. Like, can we finally say, everybody, that maybe, just maybe, Zoran knows what the fuck he's talking about and what he's doing?
Yeah.
Can we finally say that? Can we finally say that, like, the front office, Bobby Belair, when Joe was here, when Darius was here, and all these people, and when, Thomas was doing the recruiting and scouting, can we finally say that, hey, this has worked?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Can we finally admit that? I don't know. I'm very frustrated this episode, man. It's been a long week, man. I got a lot of pent up angst.
A lot of chatter.
So apologies.
No, I think no, it's good. The Tokuba. I'm glad you mentioned the Edon's part, because it's his. Because I think, didn't they say? And I should have looked this up ahead of time. Wouldn't it, if he had scored, he would have broken the record for this team scoring record, right? Tokumati?
I'm not sure.
I feel like they said this
Possibly.
in the stadium. I'll have to look this up, or you can look it up while I talk here for a minute. Because he's at 11 goals, and so I don't know if he would have tied crazy. Or it was whatever Soderski's number is. It was. I feel like they said he was going to be up there with it, which is just fascinating, because that's what I turned to my wife and I was like, and we had Pat for half the year.
Yeah. I mean,
because you add in Tokumati's goals and Pat's goals. I mean, the striker position, we did pretty well. We did pretty well with that, with 6 from Patrick and 11 from Tokumati. I mean, that's doing pretty well.
He's got three assists. He's only started 19 games. Right. I mean, he's played 30.
Some of those goals definitely came in off the bench when Patrick was starting, but still.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Vargas has played the most games, not the most minutes, but he's played, I think, in all 34 games. Yeah. Melanda still has the most minutes, but Vargas has played the most in the most games.
Okay. That makes sense. So yeah, I think what's fascinating for me to think about is the roller coaster of this season, right? Like, and I feel like this would be a funny season. I'm not going to do this because I don't listen to myself talk anymore. But to go back and listen to our episodes throughout the year of the waves that we went on, right? So I think preseason, like you said, we were all top 4. That's the expectation, 4th specifically, but this team's good enough to take that next step to be a top 4 team in the East with what they still have and building on the previous year. That's absolutely the expectation. That's what we all kind of said. Yeah. Then we start out and we're top of the table for a hot second. Mm-hmm. And so it's all right, yep, this is the team we thought it would be. The pieces are still aren't all there yet, and they're winning matches maybe when they shouldn't be, or getting points when they shouldn't be, and here we go.
Yeah.
And then it all come together. And then the opposite happened. It fell apart. And then there's a point like you're talking about where I'm I don't know if we said it here, but I feel like I was are we going to make the playoffs? Are we going to miss the playoffs right now? And then I think there was a flow of all right, we're going to make the playoffs, but we got to stay out of the play-in game. There was a solid month of the season where top 4 is no longer even in my realm of possibility.
I think we were talking about 6th or 7th is what we were.
Yeah,
I think what
it's
we were
let's just avoid the play-in game.
Yeah,
that feels like a win at this point.
Right. Yeah,
and then to see that run and make it all the way back up to that top 4 position. I mean, again, it's mission accomplished, but it's the wildest way I feel like we could have gone around to get that as far as regular season goes. Mm-hmm. And it also is going to be the season of what could have been. I really feel like, because, and to your point, the points you made, the injuries, but especially I feel like the key injury of Nathan Byrne, which seemed to kind of just throw everything off for a solid chunk of time defensively. Mm-hmm. Just such a huge what if to me of some of those games in, early summer where we were just losing games left and right, not getting points when we should have. Just so many opportunities where it wasn't like we were losing to like great teams necessarily either. It was like, losing to Toronto, losing to New England. These are all kind of these April matches I'm going back through. Just some really bad situations.
What was it? Kansas City was
Kansas City was probably the one that broke me.
Yeah.
Like those kind of like not even losses, but also just not getting points,
Yeah.
Just some really bad performances in that stretch. And I'm like, if we get points, if we get a draw here or there, if we sneak out a win here or there, how different is this season from just the regular season standings? Like, I mean, because we were legitimately in a supporter shield conversation for like maybe only 2 weeks, and then the results worked out that we were no longer in the conversation, obviously, but like it was real. I mean, it was there. I mean, it was a stretch. It was a low percentage chance, but like we were in the conversation. And then like if just some other things went our way early in the season, like what could this season have been? And again, this is not to knock what happened. Like I'm very happy, with where we finished, giving everything, and I'm happy with the top 4 team. But
yeah,
I'm just always going to kind of look back and be like, oh, if this team stayed healthy, if some other things. And some other things clicked, like if we saw the full strength of this team and it kept building as it was, like where could this team have gone? But again,
I mean, you bring up a good point. Like the teams that we lost to, and then even recently to Montreal.
Yeah,
I mean, we were 7 points out of Sports Shield.
Montreal was awful. Yeah.
So you win 2 of those games and get another point here or there. Like again, we only had 2 draws. Everybody else, at least in the Eastern Conference, had at least 5.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's even going back to like sorry, not to keep harping on the bad things. I'll stop doing this in a second. But like, I'd go all the way back to like one of the most frustrating ones for me was the March match against Miami. Miami at Miami without Messi. When they got a red card in the first half, we lost 1-0. Like that one, like there's this little thing, like, and that was even when we were still playing well, and like we followed it up with good wins, and it wasn't kind of the dark times of the season yet, but like there's just so many matches where like there's a lot of losses where it's like, yeah, that makes sense. We lost that match, deserved, no big deal, whatever. But there's just a handful that I look back at the schedule and I'm like, 4-1 Chicago at home. What are we doing?
That one. that was I want to say that was the maddest I've been all season. It's one thing to lose, it's another thing to lose at home, but to get worked like that. And then same thing happened with Montreal. So
yeah, it was either that one or Montreal for me was the maddest. That was the Even Stadium. Yeah. Let's flip it though. Your favorite moment or match, or I won't make this too specific, but like the moment that stands out to you from the regular season that either felt like a turning point or you enjoyed, or what stood out to you as like far as a moment or a match?
I don't mean this to be mean. I still think the turning point is when we figured out the fullback situation. And that was like even before Leagues Cup, we made some changes. Like we were just struggling so much. And I think that made all the difference because nothing else changed. Everything else was pretty much in place. The midfielders, people subbing in, Pep was there and then Pep was not there. But like the difference was the fullbacks.
Yeah.
Once we figured out that, now to Ruddy's credit, because I've been super critical, he has done enough to stay out there, and I wouldn't mind if he's a part of this team. He still has moments that I kind of like, oh my gosh, just when he came in against Philly, I was like, oh no. Like when Harry went out, I was like, oh no. But I think for me that's the turning point, is something had to be done there.
Yeah.
It was just too much. And it was really making our center backs look really, really bad. And
Yeah.
I want to, Privet, I think, was part of that. Like, probably a little more under pressure, probably didn't look as sharp because of who he had, outside of him.
Yeah. I agree. I think for me, the moment that will always stand out, it's probably my favorite, at least one of, if not my favorite, like 5 minute period of time in Charlotte FC history was against Miami. The saved penalty followed up
Oh,
immediately by the goal. Like
yeah.
that moment
Yeah, that's
in
a
the
good one.
stadium is just right up there with one of my favorite moments watching this team. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
first goal against Atlanta is up there, like just
Mhm.
experiences in this, like in the stadium
Yeah.
watching a match. That as far as an individual moment, less kind of a bigger picture thing, is a very specific moment. That was
Yeah.
it.
Is,
That
is
one
that is
was
that also because you were talking crap to all the Miami fans that were around you?
I absolutely was. But no, it was just one of those where like the place felt electric
Yeah.
in that moment. And then like Tokomata gets a hat trick. I mean, that was just a fun match,
Yeah.
but especially that, like the saved penalty straight into a goal was just, I'll remember that one for a while, because that was a ton of fun.
Yeah. I think that's probably I don't know if it's our best match, but like one that was like the most fun because there
Yes.
was a lot of energy and I
Yeah.
don't know, kind of frustration. That was a lot of Miami fans there, a lot of
Hmm.
pink. And yeah, to your point, that penalty that he tried to cheekily put past Kalina. Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah. I'll remember that for a long time. All right. We've been going for a long time. This is what always happens to us. Do you want any player you want? Like, do you have a player of the regular season? We've talked about a lot of
Yeah,
players individually. Do you want to just name kind of who you think had the biggest impact on the regular season?
I think it'd have to be like Burn or Zaha.
Yeah.
Because I think again, like I've beat a dead horse here. Talked about fullbacks. There's a direct correlation for me when Burns on the field and when he's not. But also too, here's the thing: it's not just defensively; it's also offensively too.
Hmm.
And he
Yeah.
also knows when to get up and down the field and back and recover. And he also
Yes.
helps the center backs out. So for me, just having him back, it just kind of, I think to me, show just how important he is to the squad. And then another one is Zaha. I know he just had the incident, but what he's been able to do, just drawing all this attention outside of the goals and assist, it's just all the other things too. And he's just fun,
Yeah.
man. We haven't ever had anybody like that. Like
No, I agree.
that does that, but also can back up the play. We've had people that say things and do things. We won't get into that, but
Yeah.
we have a guy that can do some dynamic stuff.
Yeah. I think my favorite, I'm going to call it my favorite, kind of my player of the year in that way, is Vargas, because for
Mhm.
some of the things you were talking about earlier, and
Yeah.
I've always had a soft spot for Vargas. I've always really
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
him.
you have. Yeah,
For
you have.
whatever reason, he's just one of
Yeah.
those players that I always liked him,
Yeah.
even when he was kicking field goals.
Mhm.
Like, it just always was a player that I wanted to do well, and when he was doing well, it was so fun to watch. And so I'm just so happy to see the way he's put it together,
Mhm.
really staked his claim to that spot in this team, um, and scoring goals and having fun and that confidence. So, and not just because I like watching him, but I do think the impact that that's made on the team as a whole in this late run has been huge. It's added another, especially with BL going out and losing that goal scoring ability there. It's added, that even more capability on the attack there to free up, or to take advantage when Zaha's being double and triple teamed and all that stuff. You've got so many weapons, and Vargas has figured out whatever he needed to figure out to keep the ball down and put it on target, and he's doing it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. So just love it for him. All right, we're gonna rapid fire through some listener questions, because we need to go, because of me we started very late, and I am old and it's past my bedtime. Russell Varner, how do you feel going into the playoffs this season compared to how you did last season?
I feel pretty good about what we have. All the things that we've talked about, the front three, even though Vargas won't be there. This is now about his time. to shine and be hungry and kind of
Mm-hmm.
show what he's worth. Whether he stays with this team or not, this is an opportunity for him. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about who we have behind those three, right? We
Yeah.
have a really good defense. We've got Harry, we've got Byrne, who also give us some offense. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped.
I feel more confident about the talent level of this team versus last season. Obviously, last season's team was really good,
Yeah.
but it felt like we were built on defense and would hope to get some lucky goals here and there, and that's how it felt all season. Even when we got some good goal scorers toward the end, this feels like this is a complete team, and when they play at the level they can play at, they're very tough to beat. Keith, after we win Tuesday, what is our best strategy in Yankee Stadium?
So one of the I did see a comment in there. I think it was the best strategy is to not play there.
That's what Nate said. Not playing, and Fatbird was like, "Yeah, play Red Bulls Arena." Although we don't have the best luck there either.
No, I think there, we're gonna struggle playing the ball out wide because it's more narrow. So we got to be really good through the middle. Some balls over the top. I'd like to see us press and turn them over. It's important for us to get up early. Yes. I think in these games.
100%. Well, I think about that Yankee Stadium game, as ugly as it was. I don't think. I mean, we played terribly, but both goals they had were penalties, if I remember. Right? Like
yeah,
it wasn't
really,
like they were creating.
Yeah.
Like they had a few chances early on, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't like they dominated the field of play. So like I think if we go in there and with a little bit different mentality and not playing at noon on a random Saturday, and maybe things will feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip that one for a second. This is from Nate. Given unlimited resources, what would your ideal TIFO be against NYCFC?
Oh gosh. Oh, I have no idea. Unlimited resources. It'd have to be something to make fun of them for playing in a baseball stadium, even though we play in a football stadium, but at least it's not a baseball field with dirt.
Right. Yeah, absolutely got to play. Either that or something with pigeons. I don't know what we do with pigeons, but we'd have to think about something with pigeons. Maybe we can combine these two ideas into something. But yeah, they should never, even when they get their new stadium, they should never live down the fact that they spent the first however many years of their life playing in a baseball stadium and a field that is not big enough to actually host soccer.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. So Fatbird, isn't it wild to think that Pep finished the season tied for 9th in the league with assists and hasn't played meaningful minutes since League's Cup? How many assists do you think he could have had if not for the hamstring? And so let me pull it up here. He had 11 assists. He leads the team still in assists. The next closest is Zaha with 5.
That's crazy, right? No, I mean he was on fire. I mean, I remember the MLS guys talking about MVP type stuff.
Yeah.
He was started to be, and usually our players are not in any of those types of talks. We are not a darling team. It takes everything for them to talk, unless they'll talk about Zaha because of the drama, of course. But yeah, I mean, they were talking about Pep, and I mean, who knows, man? Like, I mean, I would say close to double.
Yeah, I was going to say like 20.
Just on pace for what he was doing. Now, I mean, that's a hard clip to do that, but I mean, it's not unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think he had that many assists. He still is tied with Zaha for second most goals on the season for the team, like with 10, and he didn't play basically half the season because of being injured in League's Cup. Like that's nuts. Again, I mean, that's another what could have been, and that's also you have to kind of play the idea of like, well, would the defense have improved the way it did if we saw Pep playing? Like, there's some lot of what ifs to throw in there, but
a lot of what ifs.
Think about that production he had while being hurt for so long in the season is crazy.
Now MLS Online is saying he had 12 assists. Did you say that?
Interesting. I'm on FootMob, so we have to look and see.
And then I'm on FB ref, and they're giving him 11.
Does MLS? I feel like we've seen this somewhere. Does MLS give hockey assists?
Maybe that's what it is.
I think they do.
But so Messi is the lead. I'm just going to use MLS's because that's who would give out the award. MLS Messi has 19 assists, so it could. I mean, he could have very well. That. Yeah, he could have very well at least challenged that. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, I believe this is the last question. I don't know if you saw this and had a chance to do research, but we'll see. This is from Spencer Coop. Without looking it up, do any of you know what 6'7" means?
Oh God!
And if not, what is your first guess?
I think this was something that a basketball player said, and then it turned into like a viral, like TikTok type of thing. And then, of course, because it's on TikTok, all the kids just say it. I think that's where that actually comes from. I think it was originally from.
I thought it was from a song, but do you think it?
Maybe it was. Maybe it was.
Do you know what it means?
Is it height?
My understanding is it doesn't mean a damn thing. Like this is from my understanding. I think like my wife's a high school teacher, so I think she's a little bit above the age range. This is much more like a middle school thing, but like some freshmen still kind of do it ironically kind of deal. My understanding, I feel like you're Googling based on that face. I did. So I want you to know.
We were both right.
It doesn't really mean anything anymore. Yeah. It's just like they know it's weird, and so they're kind of doing it as like a weird troll thing to old people not knowing what it means, which is like classic. This is what you should be doing as a teenager, is doing weird things that confuse adults. So like as annoying as I feel like it is, I support the
it doesn't bother me at all. Like think of all the crazy dumb things we've said, but Corey, we were collectively correct.
Oh, look at us.
Yeah, it originated in a 2024 song by Skrilla.
Okay.
Sure. And the phrase gained popularity when it became associated with basketball player LaMelo Ball, who is 6'7".
Okay.
So I said it was basketball player in height. You said it was a rap song. Yep. So
we got there
collectively. We got it. I feel like I'm hip.
I'm proud of us. That's good. Yeah, that's good. I'm just glad my kids don't say it. And they're probably they're on the too young age range of it. So we'll just see what nonsense they say to me when they're 12 years old.
My 4-year-old, his favorite thing to say is heck. He goes, "What the heck?"
That's
incredible. And I'm like, "Where'd you get that from?" Like I'm trying to think. Like I say, thank goodness he doesn't listen to this podcast. But he like the way he says it too. He's just like, "What the heck?" Like, that's really funny.
That's really good. All right, I think that's enough for now. We are gonna head out. We were thinking about kind of what our schedule will look like, given, not to bring this up again, but given the weird playoff schedule of things, we're trying to figure out how we will publish kind of around all these games. But
I'm going to try to the rest of the playoffs to not say anything bad about fans.
Okay. I like
it. People get on to me about that. They're like, "Oh, you talk down to fans." I'm like, not all of them.
But I text you this, and I'll say it on the show. I also have people come up to me and be like, "I'm really sad that Matt wasn't on the show or that we didn't record a show because they wanted to hear you rant about something that happened, whether it be whatever it was." Like, I get it. I get why you're feeling. I'm feeling like I don't want to rant anymore, but like the people do enjoy it.
I just want people to just take a second before, like,
just take a second.
Just wait a second and let all the information come out, and then if you want to get mad, that's fine. But like sometimes, just the initial reactions on things, I'm like, dude.
We would be I should probably if everybody just did that all the time. Just take a beat.
I should really just stay off social media is what it really boils down to.
That's been my response to this. Everything. Just get off of it. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We will be back at some point next week, probably. How is that for a setup? Stay tuned to the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, join our Patreon. That's where you can get into the Discord. We will update kind of our publishing schedule, put it out on social too, so people know when we're publishing, because a normal night to record is on Tuesday nights. And obviously we have a match. We're not going to be recording then. So we'll figure out kind of our schedule coming out to give you some updates between the matches. But looking forward to a big home playoff win against New York on Tuesday. And we will see everybody next time.
See you guys.